Is that the abundant life Jesus was talking about? Jesus was genius when he said that you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve money and God. Because of that, we have to understand very carefully that abundant life is, and I say that very practically, and I lived it to my very being, that abundant life is when you are aware and fully conscious that you are in a personal and intimate relationship with God, and that is reflected in so many aspects of our lives. Believe me, I'm not talking that on a theoretical basis. I'm talking about that on a very existential basis. In order to start exploring this session, which is called The Culture of God and the Cultures of the World, let us revisit the concept of culture. What is culture? In the 20th century, the digital revolution happened. And in the 21st century, more and more, the science and technology developed and pushed God into a private place until God became a taboo for a lot of Christians in Europe, because God remained in this compartment of explaining things, rather than God being the personal God, the relational God. And because of that, individualism took over and the church lost its place. In Islam, the situation is completely different, because God's revelation, ultimate and final revelation, happened through a book. So the Quran, as a book, holds the final and the ultimate revelation of God, which makes it the ultimate authority for Islam. In Judaism, the Torah, which is for us Christians the first 5 books of the Old Testament, contain the final revelation and the ultimate authority of God. But 9/11, the tragedies of 9/11 brought religion back center stage and reminded us that religion never disappeared. Where in the Middle East, religion and culture are so intermingled. Religion in the Middle East is part of the everyday life and the everyday breath they take in the people there in the Middle East. And St. John reveals this fantastic, marvelous revelation in his first epistle when he says, God is love, and who abides in love abides in God and God in him. So he, in a way, gave us an access to know what kind of culture God lives in himself. And this culture is the culture of love, because it is the culture of the Trinity, and it is the culture of the innermost God, in the heart of God.
They obey the established laws, but in their way of life transcend all laws. They show love to all people, but all persecute them. Jews denounce them as heretics, and Greeks harass them with the threat of persecution. And in spite of all this ill treatment, no one can produce ground for hostility. In a word, what the soul is to the body, Christians are to the world.
It's quite a powerful letter, and it teaches us a lot, that as we get involved in the culture around us, we can at the same time be faithful to our faith and our beliefs and what we believe in.